Alright, so in this video, we're going to be doing some practice with finding the cross product of two vectors. Okay, so we have our first problem right up on the board here. We have the vector 1, 3, 4 cross the vector 2, 7, negative 5. Okay, so how do we find the cross product? Well, the first thing that we have to do is set up our 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, we set up our 3 by 3 matrix. On the top line is our unit vectors, I hat, j hat, and k hat. On the second line is our first vector, okay? 1, 3, and 4. And in the the third line is our second vector, which is 2, 7, negative 5. Okay? And now we just need to find the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix. Okay? So first, we're going to be doing, and I'll try to do this out here. We have I times the determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix, okay, which will be I times 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And then you're going to subtract 7 times 4, which is 28. Alright, next we have our j hat, okay, and that's going to be multiplied by the determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so now you have minus j hat. Okay, remember there's a minus here. And we're going to have 1 times negative 5, which is a negative 5. And that's going to be minus 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay? Then, lastly, we are going to do k hat. Alright? We have k hat times the determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix. Okay? You can notice that it's the 2 by 2 matrix that is not part of the same column that your unit vector is in. So for k hat, it's this 2 by 2 matrix that's not in the same column as k hat, right? So anyways, over here you get plus k hat times 1 times 7, which is 7, minus 2 times 3, which is 6. So you get 7 minus 6. Okay? Bringing that all together, you're going to get, this is a negative 15 minus 28, which is negative 43. And then you have I hat minus, you have a negative 5 minus 8 j hat, which is, this is just a negative 13, and this negative will make it positive, so you have plus 13 j hat. And then you have plus, the 7 minus 6 just becomes 1, so we're going to have plus k hat. Okay, and if you wanted to write that in angle bracket form, you can do that. You just have a coefficient here is negative 43, coefficient here is 13, and the coefficient here is 1. Alright? So, you know, it's a process, but doing a decent amount of repetition gets you pretty good at it. Alright, so now I'm going to write these two vectors that we're going to be taking for finding the cross product of, but now I'm going to write them with our unit vectors, I hat, j hat, and k hat, just so we get some repetition with both the angle bracket form and this form right here. Okay, so we got to set up that 2 by 2 matrix, or sorry, 3 by 3 matrix again. I hat, j hat, k hat goes on the top. Your first vector will go in the second line. Okay, that's going to be 3, 2, negative 6. Your second vector goes in the third line. So you have a negative 2, 1, and 2. Okay, so now we got to find the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, and let's start off. We have I hat times, this is going to be a 2 times 2, which is 4, minus a 1 times negative 6, which is just 6, or sorry, negative 6, and when you have, since there's already going to be a negative here, this becomes a plus 6. Okay, then you have minus j hat, and real quick here, I mean, you can do this if you want. You can say plus j hat and just switch the order of how you find the 2 by 2, how you find the determinant of the 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so if you said plus j hat, and remember you're dealing with this 2 by 2 now, what you can do is do -6 times -2 first, okay, which gives you just a 12, and then subtract this 3 times 2. Okay, so now we're just doing this this multiplication before this multiplication. Okay, when we do 3 times 2, we get 6, so we're going to subtract 6 here. So that's another way you can do it, you know, if you're comfortable with that, rather than having a minus j hat there. But that's up to you. Now you have a plus k hat, and, well, now we're going to have the 2 by 2 matrix. Let me draw in a different color here. It'll be this one, right, not including the k hat column. So we have a 3 times 1 is 3. And then we have minus a -2 times 2, which is going to be -4, so that becomes a +4 right here. Simplifying this down now, we end up with a 10 I hat plus 6 j hat plus a 7 k hat, and you can also write that in angle bracket form as 10, 6, 7. Alright, so that's basically it, okay? Finding the cross product, as I said before, you know, just a little bit of a process, definitely a little more lengthy than finding the dot product, but, you know, not the hardest thing in the world, okay? So that's going to do it for this video.
So if this video helped you, make sure to leave a like and subscribe by clicking my icon in the top left. You could also view the playlist for vectors in the geometry of space, the explanation video for the cross product, and the next video in the series. Lastly, if these videos are really helping you, consider supporting me on Patreon, which I have linked in the description down below, along with some other pretty cool links that you should definitely check out. See you soon.